Under the Stars is a story idea I'm going to work on someday. It was originally going to air on CBBC this week as a short film, followed by an episode of Scream Street. They were originally going to replace Ninja Express and Boy Girl Dog Cat Mouse Cheese on the lineup, thank God, just for this once, but once I pitched the idea to the BBC, they rejected it. Now Factory is waiting to make this story into a short film. The short begins with Luke, Rhesus, Cleo and I looking up at the stars while lying in the grass near the forest. Luke points out it's the sign of a zombie getting hit in the face with a game's console. Rhesus points out the stars represent bats flying about, and Cleo thinks about her ancestors' spirits flying high in the sky. As for me, I get up and walk into the forest crying. Luke consoles me and asks why I'm upset when I should be spending time with friends. I tell him that this camping trip may be the last time they'll ever get to see me, and Luke promises they'll spend the camping trip while we can. The next day after breakfast, Luke, Rhesus, Cleo and I race into the forest and make a den out of large sticks and leaves. We then plant a seed in the ground and wait for it to grow into a fruit tree. Suddenly, we hear snorting and hide when Sir Otto Sneer arrives to collect some water. We jump out and scare Sir Otto Sneer off. Suddenly, our parents call us for dinner. We part ways, and each of us tell our families about the den we've built, the seed we've planted and how we scared off Sir Otto Sneer. The day after that, we race off to play and have a bath in the crystal clear lake. With all our clothes off, Cleo wears bandages, we splash each other and relax in the warm sunshine. Luke and I swim into a dark cave and share a tender moment together, with Luke telling me that this is where his parents first met. I giggle and say that this will be where we meet too before we kiss in the light shining through the cave. Later, we hide behind the rocks and see Sir Otto collecting water from the river with Dixon. We jump out and scare him off, but Dixon punches Luke in the face before he and his menacing uncle leave. Luke returns to his campsite utterly distraught, and tells his parents everything. Luke's mum, Sue, puts a plaster on his cheek and tells him everything will be fine before they go to sleep in their tent. On the last day of all, I invite Rhesus and Cleo to play, but Luke just sits on the sidelines, feeling guilty about how Dixon punched him in the face. I teach Rhesus and Cleo how to do some mud painting, and make up a strategy. While Cleo and I hunt the victims, Rhesus can get them from behind. I encourage Luke to join in, but he refuses. I tell him that there's another way to do this, and it involves not giving up. Luke, motivated by these words of advice, rips off his shirt and roars to the heavens, as Rhesus, Cleo and I cheer him on. Otto, Dixon and with them No Name arrive to get some water, and we chase him out into the field wearing nothing but mud paint and carrying palm leaves, as we beat him up and tackle them to the ground. We howl to the heavens, and later we splash the mud off our faces, laughing over what we've just done. When our parents call us, we hug and I tell my friends we'll see each other as long as the stars align us, like the planets are aligned many years later. As I go to sleep in my tent, I bury my head in the pillow and cry. I wake up one morning to find a little tree, and call Luke, Rhesus and Cleo over to see it, but they've disappeared. Mum tells me that they have left, so I run up to the fruit tree and begin to sob. But I remember what I said to them and race into the field near the forest, as the wind blows the grass and in my face. Many years later, and I am now a teenager walking alone across the beach. I sit down and gaze at my locket, which contains a photo of me, Luke, Rhesus and Cleo. Suddenly, I hear voices calling for me. Realizing they're my long-lost friends, I race.